Hey, welcome out to the shop. FG here. It is getting chilly out here already, but we're back out here. Um, we're this one ended up being. I'm not totally happy with the pour lines through the letters here, and it ended up being a little bit light. So I've reprinted it. You can see we're a little bit thicker. We hope that will pour better, and we're shooting for closer to 2, but 2 plus if we're going to be not right on 2. We'd rather be a little bit above 2. So we're gonna pour another one of these, and then we're also working on another pair of dice. I think that they may already be spoken for, so we do have to get those poured. One thing I will show, this is going to be last call. This is currently up on PeerMetals, or you can contact me directly, but this is last call for this Stacker Socials round. I'm not going to keep it in my stack, so if no one's interested in it here, it is like 2.3 something ounces. But if no one voices interest, this will go into, oh, there you go, 2.34. It will go into the melting pot again to become something else. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Otherwise, next time it gets melted. But let's go ahead and I'll get the molds put together while I'm watching some videos up here. And then I'll be back. All right, I think we're just about ready here. I'll get my gloves on and we'll give it a pour. I ended up with a huge sprue on this one. More than I intended. There's our dice. It looked like they came out pretty good. That one looks like it poured pretty good, even with the huge sprue. All right, well, I'll get the sand and the molds cleaned up, let that cool off for just a second here, and then we'll be back to take a look at it. All right, so actually they did come out looking pretty decent. Got a little bit of cleanup to do here on the dice, a little bit of pitting, but some of that will come out with the finish. And can see the sprue, and now look at the sprue on this one. That's what I was saying. I got a large sprue on that one, but it did its job in that you can see there's none of those same pore lines. There's a little bit of pitting here, but not the pore line issue. So it filled out nicely. So we'll get the sprue and everything cut off and work on getting it finished. And I'll be back in a bit. All right. Well, I think that these turned out really pretty good. Including the lettering and everything. And got a couple pairs of dice. Well, a couple pairs. Got a couple dice. A pair of dice. And we'll go get these weighed and make sure that the dice are basically an ounce a piece. You know, I'm not doing machining, I'm doing pouring, so it's not precise. They're not as precise as machined dice would be. There's little things like you can see this corner's just a little bit more sanded than the others, so little imperfections, but that is what poured dice are. So we'll go get these weighed, and probably I'll need to do stamping before I do any toning, but we'll see if we can get this one stamped and toned for Steve, and probably be a 2-night process. So we'll see you in a moment. All right, so we're back here to give these things a quick trip on the scale. Let's see if I can get this out of the glare. Let's check what this is. All right, so it ended up heavier. We're at 2.4, so that's actually just about an ounce heavier than the previous one. But this has a nice feel to it. Well, I guess it's not a show if you don't drop silver, right? At least that's what I hear from some of the other guys. Littlefoot. Anyways, yeah, okay. Oops. And I switched that to grams. So ounce troy, let me write this down, 2.436. 2.436. All right. And then we also have the 2 dice. Let's give each of those a weight. Okay. 1.091. I'm just wanting to make sure they're both over an ounce before I go further with them. So rate 1.085. So actually that's going to be just a bit over a tenth above 2.17. 76 total weight. So that's a pretty good pair. So if I need to process them a little bit more, I can without fear of trimming more weight than an ounce off. So I'm happy with that. So there is our pours for tonight. We have our new round and our new pair of dice that we're working on. Well, that worked out pretty good. And next step will be finishing them with stamps, and then I will get them get them toned up, and we'll get some cases printed for the round. Oh, you know what? I didn't double check that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. I guess I need to fish out one of the other high relief capsules. Give me just a second. All right, so got one of the high relief capsules. That fits pretty much perfect. You can see there's just a hair of space in there. And you can see how high relief it is. So it's not quite 3 ounces, so there is a little bit of play in it. You can see that there's so what I'll probably do is when I ship it, I'll put a layer of foam inside it so that it doesn't rattle around in the package, and that way capsules stay nice, silver will stay nice, nobody will be knowing what's in there, shipping in there, and then when he gets it, he can take the foam out and put it back in the capsule for display. All right, well, I'll be back with the next step. All right, so we're gonna do some toning here, and I told Steve that I would show him the toning process. So we have this that's called liver of sulfur. We put a bit of that in. Then I go grab my hot water. And I just run my water through my Keurig. Get some hot water in there, and then we're going to just slide this right in there into the mix, and we'll watch it. We're also going to put in a couple dice here. We actually need a little bit more water to cover the dice. There we go. Alright, so you can see it already. It's kind of cycling through the bronzes. It skipped the reds. It's gone straight to blues. See, the dice are also going to blue over there. But I think Steve kind of wanted either reds or to go ahead with like the charcoal. So we're going to let it stay in here. We'll see what we get here on the next cycle of color here. Of course, what we're really looking for is the color that's in the background, not out here on the raised areas, because the raised areas are what are going to get kind of polished off or scrubbed off. You can see we're not really getting any red there. Mix up this water has baking soda in it to counteract the liver of sulfur. The dice, we just want really dark pips down in the dice. So we're just letting those stay in there until everything's really dark. Well, I don't think we're getting... It's some interesting color, but I don't think we're getting reds out of it. So I don't know if you can see what colors we have on there. I'm going to go ahead and neutralize it. And we're actually going to use some E-Zest. We're going to dip it back to neutral. We'll let the toning process work on it one more time. See if we get any different colors. It's really hard. You can't really guarantee any certain color. Dipping and retoning is about the best you can do. Alright, so you can see we're back to blast white. I actually blot most of this off so we don't mix too much of the solution with baking soda back into here. We'll just drop that back in there. In the meantime, you can see the dice have turned black, so that's what we're looking for. So we'll move those over to the rinse. And then those will get polished. So all of that you see there will end up coming off in the polish. So move to a dark bronze. If we're going to get reds, this would be about the time that we'd see it look reddish. Right about, nope, it's still really bronzish. It's more of a brown. And I can see the starting of blue just at the edges. But that is a very interesting toned color. Actually, maybe I'll pull it out and finish it like this. And then you can decide if you want me to redo it from this to something else. Because look at that color. It'll look a little bit different up under the bright lights. In fact. Give me a second. Let me actually turn on my... There. So you can see it's not really red. It's almost hinting into purple. That's an interesting color. That turned out actually pretty interesting. All right, so I'll show this to Steve and we'll let him decide whether he likes that color or wants me to kind of start fresh and retone it again. That'll be it for this part. We'll be back in a bit. All right, so we're done with the toning, and I went out and processed the dice so you can kind of see what's going on here. Upside down, but just kind of marked as 1 troy ounce of 3/9 fine. This one, the punch slipped just a hair. There we go. There is a pair of dice. And the round for Steve. So the back kind of retained its blue, but the front kind of lost some of it. There's still the blue and kind of purplish tint in there, but it is more subdued than what it started out as. There we go. Marked as 2.43 ounces. And this will go in a capsule. Like so. And again, I'll pad it a little bit for shipping so it doesn't rattle around. But then it'll also get a case to both ship in and potentially display it. Unfortunately, I haven't designed any cases for the dice yet. I suppose I might be able to come up with something, but I don't have anything currently. So there we go. Steve, let me know if you're okay with how that turned out. You saw both sides of it here. If you want me to try and retone it, I can dip it and retone it again. I just need to know. But that is the end of this poor video. And I hope everybody enjoyed coming along for a ride and seeing the toning process on this one. And that'll be it. So have a good evening. I'll catch you in the next one.